to What Am I Rolling, a twice-monthly RPG one-shot podcast, hosted by me, Fiona. This week, I'm joined by my friends Evelyn, Megan, Issie and Grace for In Name Only, a name-based fantasy RPG system by Doug Levandowski, Jack Rosetree and Alison Cardinale. In Name Only is a minimalist role-playing system where your real, actual name determines all your skills, abilities and powers. You can find out more information and download a free copy of the rule set on the In Name Only Kickstarter. You can also buy the full version of In Name Only from the P&P Arcade website. That's www.pnparcade.com. I'll include links to it on the What Am I Rolling website and in this episode's show notes. So here's how In Name Only works. Letters in a player's name corresponds to talents and abilities their character has. For example, A is for archery, B is for brawling, and so on and so forth. Once the players have written down all of their talents, they must subtract the total number of talents they have from 8. The result is the bonus a player has when making a check with any of these talents. Naturally, a longer name means more talents with a smaller bonus, whilst a shorter name means fewer talents with a larger bonus. When players need to make checks, they roll a d20 and add a bonus if they are using one of their talents. If the result is 10 or more, they succeed. There are different check modifiers which alter the circumstances and mechanics of a check. For instance, a difficult check has a DC of 15 to succeed instead of 10, whereas a dangerous check, if failed, will knock a character out of the game for the remainder of the scene. There is also a special check modifier, known as a chaotic check, which comes into play whenever a magic talent is used. If the result of a chaotic check is a prime number, the action is treated as if the goal was something other than what the character intended. The check is still a success or failure as appropriate to the result. You can find out more information about In Name Only and download a free copy of the rules on the In Name Only Kickstarter. You can also buy the full version of In Name Only from the P&P Arcade website. That's www.pnparcade.com. One last thing before we begin. Naturally, there are times in this one-shot where the players, and myself, mostly myself, get the rules wrong or forget something plot-wise. Whilst we always endeavour to stick to the rules wherever possible, at the end of the day, we all make mistakes, and what matters most is that everyone enjoys themselves. So, with all that out of the way, let's play In Name Only. I'll start with you, Evelyn.
Yes.
First thing for you, you have something called emotion magic, which is the ability to subtly influence and control emotions. And then, this is where my spelling comes really bad. Is it V next?
Yeah.
Yeah, V is village politics.
I want that.
Familiarity with and the ability to manipulate local non-nobility level politics.
Oh,
yes. Non-nobility. Remember that, though, non-nobility.
Yeah.
Know your place.
You ain't in the politics well. Know your place. And then it's L, because you've already got E.
Yeah.
L is law. You were an avid reader of a book series which now turns out isn't fiction. Y is for yeoman.
Oh, that wasn't as exciting as I thought. Okay.
Skilled personal service and support provided to a noble hero or mentor.
I hope that's like you right now.
I provide the service to the noble hero.
You just have a gift. It's like a glorified PA system, but you're very good at it.
Very efficient.
Like being at work.
And then the final one for you is nature magic.
Yes.
So the ability to summon,
Okay.
influence and control natural plants and animals.
That's great.
While you're being a great assistant.
Wait, summon and influence.
Summon and influence.
You're like Crocodile Dundee.
Natural control.
Why is that the first thing you went for?
Oh, maybe Dr. Dolittle.
Okay, so I've got emotion magic, village politics, law, yeoman, and nature magic.
Perfect. All right, and then we'll go around with you. So what letters do you have?
M.
M. M is for mind magic.
Oh,
of course, the first one is
Magic.
It's like this game was made for you.
The ability to forcefully influence and control conscious thought, but then you also get an E as well, so you get emotion magic as well.
Oh my god. She like
I may as well just not even be here.
G is gaming. Skilled social interaction enjoyed by thieves, soldiers, and other uncommon folk. And then A next, right?
yeah.
Archery. Crafting, maintenance, and use of bows and arrows.
So I'm like Professor X meshed with Legolas.
Or Katniss.
No.
Nice try.
No.
And then your final one will also be nature magic.
Yeah.
I am so ready.
So are you going for Izzy or Isabel?
I'm going to go for Izzy. Get a double S from double S.
What, you don't want to know about the B? Double S is just going to get you one.
It's just going to get you one.
Isabel is hella long though.
Isabel it is!
Isabel.
You just tried to give yourself 3 power.
Oh, look at that! Hey,
It's like the more powers you have, it's more like a jack of trades. So like you won't.
Yeah, but if you have 3 really good ones.
Exactly. So that's it. I is for ice magic. Ability to utilise the freezing cold and solid structures of ice. And then S is swords. Crafting, maintaining, and using various various edged weapons. I was going to say shaved weapons, which is not what's written down here, but yes. O is for oversized weapons. So effective
Ding
use
dong.
of
You're
effective use of two-handed or cumbersome weapons. B is for brawling. So
Rooting.
I'm literally goes against my very timid nature.
so combat effectiveness without traditionally crafted weapons. That probably goes quite well with oversized weapons, thinking about it.
Yeah.
E is, of course, emotion magic.
Oh god, gosh, we're all turning
Everyone's very emotional.
I was like, oh yeah, my letter's going to be so sick. We all have emotion magic.
You can talk to villagers, but not nobility, remember?
Right.
Manipulate everyone except the nobility, which I apparently give skills.
You're literally like the most bitter member of the fucking royal palace. I'm doing all this work for them, and you're like, but you could go with the blue master. And they're like, no, shut up, Evelyn. I don't care what you think.
Go feed the corgis.
And then your final one is again lore. So you're an average reader of a book series that now turns out isn't fiction. Okay, Grace, so we've got gaming for you to begin with. And then R is for running. So keeping up or getting away from others over various terrains. Archery is A.
Yes.
And then you've got chivalry. Appropriate engagement.
That was a very mixed response.
It's quite funny because it says appropriate engagement with members of nobility.
Evelyn! Nobody knows the trouble she's seen. She's not enough mixed with nobility.
You know what? There aren't that many noble people around, so I've got the will of the masses. I'll see you when we fucking ride there.
Chivalry, no, that's fine. Yeah, don't worry.
Rebellion will be mine.
Sorry.
And the final one,
What is it, everybody? Together! Oh, we're so in sync. Sorry, I'm so... Oh, Evelyn, don't leave.
Come back.
Evelyn.
Oh no, she's gone.
Going out some gin.
As you can tell, this sort of RPG, the most important thing about it is your name. Because that's defining what your character is or stuff like that. All other NPCs, I'll say this now, will not have a name unless there is a reason to name them. As soon as they're named, they will get similar talents to you.
Oh shit, okay, right, everyone's called E.
The emotion magic is high, subtly.
God, we're all so emotional.
At least that way we've all got the same powers. They can't manipulate us too much.
So, I want to know, what would normally the four of you be doing now if I wasn't here? Like, you're all here, sort of in, on a sort of a Wednesday evening. It would be something like an activity that you guys are doing together. So are you going out somewhere? Are you going out for a meal? Are you making food?
I think we'd have food.
Yeah,
We'd
there would be
probably
food.
be chatting.
Just talk. Yeah, just eating and talking, I reckon.
Eating and talking. Okay, so it's been a long day at your various workplaces, which we won't name. And there is a knock at the door. What do you guys do?
I run to my bedroom and cry.
You just hear a slam as the door shuts the door.
I guess, like, I'd probably be like...
You are not expecting anyone. You're all here in the flat, so it's like nearly 8 p.m. at night on a Wednesday.
I'm like, someone go answer the door.
Well, Izzy and I, like, look at each other. Yeah, we look at one another and we're like, well, we're the biggest. Like, let's...
Do you play chicken?
Check this out.
I'm like, who's gonna get the door?
Ev leads the way. I'm like, I'll back you up, girl.
Yeah. And I approach the door going probably more timidly than I would like to sound. Just like, hello.
Okay. A couple seconds, nothing, and then again.
I'm not a fan. At this point, I'm still sitting in the living room like, will someone answer the fucking door?
Are we sisters?
Yeah, literally. Answer that door. And somebody check on Grace. I'm currently under my bed.
I start saying, like, I know jujitsu. I did one session of jujitsu with my dad, and therefore I can defend us all, while still standing behind it, Evelyn.
It's still 8 p.m. It's not like 10 p.m. at night. 8 p.m. at night.
I don't understand.
We don't know any other people. I will look through the peephole.
You look out, and again, it's that sort of weird fisheye effect. You can just see, like, the bare top of someone's head.
They're not very tall.
The bare top of someone.
The bare top.
It's bare, the top is bare.
You would surmise that they are quite small, and you can see their hair is sort of like pulled back in a weird sort of bun, and it's clearly like it's very messy, like sort of grey hairs all over the place, and you hear sort of maybe a tut.
Do I recognise this hair?
You can't recall anyone like this, no.
I guess that I just shout again, like, seriously, I'm not opening the door unless you say who you are.
Okay, at this point, I come out from the living room and I'm like, seriously, guys, what's going on?
I just grab the plunger from the toilet, open the door
Excellent.
with weapon in hand because I'm just tired of this shit.
I'm still standing behind Evelyn being like, I'll take him.
And I'm standing behind Izzy, like, why'd you have the plunger?
Yeah.
I'm fashioning some kind of barricade in my bedroom.
Excellent. So you open the door, and it is an old woman. And as soon as you open the door, she's like, and moves past you into the flat. She's wearing the strangest of garbs. It's sort of like almost robes, but like, yeah, for this time of year, it is very cold. So she's actually not bare-chested or anything like that, but the robes and stuff like that would show quite a bit of flesh. And you can tell again, so she's an older lady, maybe in her 60s, or you can maybe even say 70s. The wrinkles on her face sort of line. But she's making her way in, and she's sort of like, out of the way, and she's sort of moving through. You three, because unfortunately, Grace, you are in your bedroom, I need you to make just d20 rolls to see if you spot anything.
That's a 2.
That's a 3 for me.
3. On the
That's
other
a 20!
That's a natural
20.
The sight of this woman has just completely blown you back to you can't hear what she is saying.
Okay.
Evelyn, you hear her say, as she brushes past you, she says, Evelyn. And then as
She got Batman voice on.
and then as she goes past Megan, she's like, Megan. And then she goes, Isabel. And then you see her sort of looking around
Oh my gosh,
and
she's
starts
looking
making towards your bedrooms.
Our bedroom.
All of our bedrooms, just like checking them out.
Yeah.
Can I ask, in this universe, do we all know about the fact that your name is relevant to your powers, or is it just
You could say this is the origin part of your powers bit.
Yes! So exciting.
So you currently
Okay,
don't have
I just
powers.
like I guess I just follow her. Like, what the hell are you doing? Why do you know our names?
At this point, I'm following her like, oh my god, I love your robe. Is it from Zara?
And I'm sitting there being like, get it, girl. You don't need to cover up your flesh at your age.
I'm like, Izzy, not the time.
I'm trying to be friendly.
Grace, you just hear a cacophony of different noises. It sounds like banging as someone is going through the bedrooms and again gets to yours and the door doesn't open.
Can I try and do something?
Yeah. What would you like to do?
Can I try and forcefully influence her not to frighten Grace?
You don't have those powers yet.
Damn, god, double
Origin
damn!
party.
Can I try and reason with her just normally?
What would you say?
I would say, can you just let me open the door and coax our friend out because you're going to give her a fucking aneurysm.
And then she just points at her and goes, Grace?
I cannot either confirm nor deny that.
Roll a d20 for me, please.
Oh god! That's a fucking 3!
And she goes, thought so. And
You suck.
Can I say something or not? No.
she's...
You don't know what's going
so you
on.
just hear...
I've heard my name.
You have heard your name, and she starts trying to shove the door, but your barricade, because you've managed to put it together fairly comprehensively, she can't get through on the first go. What would you like to do?
I've ascertained that this woman, like, she's in our house, let's just deal with what
You
she's
can't
got
just
to
let
say.
her in, I've got to be honest.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, she's clearly got some shit going on. She knows all of our names without having asked us. We don't know her. So I think at this point, I just want to let it play out. So I
I full-blown started recording on my phone. Subtly, though.
Excellent.
But I'm recording.
You're recording.
I just shout, like, Grace, just get out of the way of the door.
Out of the way, Evelyn! It's my barricade! And then I, like, dismantle the barricade.
You dismantle the barricade. Okay,
Yeah,
so...
because I'm very curious by this point.
Just as the old lady is trying to sort of shove the door, Grace, you open it, and she looks at you, points at you, and says, Grace?
And I deny my name completely. No. I crumble. I completely crumble. She knows my name.
Do you confirm it? Or...
I do.
Okay, she goes, excellent, and claps her hands. There's a sort of vibration that comes from outside of her.
Is this the portal bit? We're going to Narnia?
And this sort of waves hit you, and you feel yourself sort of contorting and stretching as almost time itself sort of shatters and reforms as you are transported. Together.
Oh god!
What feels like an eternity happens, and you see features of yourself sort of expand and disappear. Weird natural things and unnatural things happen, and then you land in a huge chamber lit by torches. And in front of you, this old lady sort of looks up, looking more in her element. She goes, "Thank goodness I found you." And now, I'd like you guys to describe how you now look with your new powers. You don't have to be human. You don't have to be the same gender if you don't want to. But it's sort of like something to do with your powers. So if you've got ice magic or nature magic, maybe you have vines going across you. Maybe you look more like an animal or anything like that.
Okay, I think that Evelyn's got quite a smarmy nature with her service to nobility and manipulation. So her hair is dark and super slick, like all swept back. But then the ends are like tinted green for her naturey, powery stuff. And I feel like she likes to creep and manipulate. So she's tall but very willowy with sort of like long schemy fingers. And amber eyes like a cat because she loves nature and animals.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
So I look quite androgynous. Think K-pop, like that kind of with slightly tan skin but quite freckly, like you've been outside in the sun. Almost white blonde hair that's quite cropped, with very piercing but soft green eyes, but quite slender, like nothing imposing about me, but it looks like I could handle myself. Like, think of more of a rock climber's physique. Like, you would not be able to... I'm not going to look like I could handle anyone, but like... Oh, no, I have some really cute little earrings.
Oh, nice turn.
Very, very good touch. My name is Isabel, and I am a 6'8" Viking-esque man.
Yes.
Muscles on muscles, and the most detailed, like, tattoos of my battle victories all down my arms. There's so many they actually go to my ring fingers because I've had so many battle victories. And I've got me this beautiful, rugged, like, tan skin from being out on the seven seas, travelling across to raid and pillage lands. Got the blonde hair, the rugged beard that has that like sort of golden speckle from the sea. I do imagine quite a distinctive scar across the face.
I knew you were going to say a scar.
Yes.
No, I'm here for it.
But like, I have very piercing, almost silver eyes, but because the scar goes across my eye, it actually cuts across and there's a black stripe across my pupil as well. Pupil? It's like proper snake eye kind of vibes going on.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's a really difficult act to follow.
You describe yourself, you could just look the same.
Well, I feel like the only vibe I was getting was like Professor Trelawney-esque, but not as aged. I know she's not really, really old, but the kind of like, she's seen a lot and she's quite well read, but I'm also trying to factor in my excellent running capabilities. And I don't know how that's going. But it's just like unassuming, like no one knows. I don't know yet, do I? I have these powers. Like,
when you have landed, it's almost as if a veil has been lifted from you.
okay, we kind of have
And
this
you are
sense.
this person.
You are this person. It's almost as if the old lady sort of looks and goes, and I'm so glad that your true forms have now come to light.
Like it's been awakened in you, but it was always underneath.
Exactly.
Oh, I feel so special.
So,
But yeah, kind of like not really, really old, but quite like a bohemian-esque. Like I've got lots of wraps. Like I've got layering down. Like one of my clothes, I have lots of layers on, and I'm very well read. But I am quite, I guess, unassuming in my like physical like capacity that you can't really see. I don't know. Kind of unassuming in that.
yeah, I think, to be fair, out of the four of you, you may look the most unassuming, but then
Yeah.
that is a standout feature in itself.
Ta-da.
So, I will say now, you are aware of these powers. It feels like you were always this person. And you do feel like, certainly those of you who have magic, which I think is everyone has magic in some way, you feel it start to course back through you, but it feels very rusty and it feels sort of like it will take time for you to use its proper...
Like waking up from a nap a bit.
Exactly, yeah, and you're a bit disorientated. The old lady sort of goes around and shakes your hand. It is so good to see you guys. I thought it might not work. Travelling to the other plane, I thought it was a chance I had to take.
I have noticed something across the hall from where we all are standing, or the area that we're in. I see a row of beautifully crafted swords. I go across and I touch one of the handles, and it feels like something is coursing through my veins. And it feels like memories of battles lost and won, and it scares me, but I love it.
Well, it's true, the flashes come back. It's piecing together almost like pieces of a puzzle, slowly but surely coming back, but you don't get full images of that. And that is actually a very good point. Evelyn, you're still holding the plunger.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I just sort of like casually just try and drop it and sort of sidle away.
Megan, your phone is no longer a phone. It is almost like a piece of parchment, and on it is what looks like a depiction of a door, an old lady shoving the door, and looks like your friend Grace peeking out of the door, but it is a still image.
Curious. Okay. I look down at it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I hope I still don't have to pay my contract. I literally just throw it behind me. Gone.
And so you guys managed to describe yourselves, which is great, and Isabel, you went to look for weapons, which is great. I will say, again, just the free-flowing nature of this RPG, what weapons would you have on you? Like, you can have a number of stuff or nothing at all.
Anything magical.
So, for example, you've got archery, so you might have suddenly a beautiful bow that just appears
I
in
do.
your back. There you go.
I crafted it myself.
You can gear yourselves up. Obviously, you've seen lots of swords yourself, so you can pick a sword, you can have a shield. What kind of weaponry or equipment would you like?
Okay, I'm getting Snoopy vibes. Definitely have some form of collapsible telescope.
Spying on the enemy.
Well, you never know when you might need to know that Mr. Jones and Mrs. Jenkins hooked up in the bakery storeroom.
That's so true.
And then...
Oh, you're a gossip. Wow.
You would know. I manipulate village politics. I need to know these things.
Knowledge is power.
And then I feel like I've got to have some small change on me to grease some palms. So I feel like I've got a couple of sort of like silver pieces squirreled away. And I don't know. You see, I have nature magic.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to use like some kind of staff thing. There's more of like a walking stick that can double as a weapon or like something to ward animals with generally, that I can sort of use as a conduit for my magic, but also somewhat of a weapon. Like I don't really see her as that much of a fighter, but I think she uses the things around her in a very manipulative and sort of MacGyver-esque way.
Yeah, so you use the environment to your advantage if you're in the nature.
Yeah, so she doesn't really travel that heavy because she doesn't really want to seem that conspicuous. So I guess just a very beautifully crafted walking stick that maybe has some kind of like
I'm going to say like a stone in it, a bit like Gandalf's sort of staff in a way, but shorter.
Fairly pointy, very strong, quite shiny like varnished wood.
Megan, what equipment would you like?
Okay, so I've got a very well-made but relatively unassuming bow. Like, it's not ornate in any way, but it also doesn't look scruffy. I also have a quiver, but in it, tell me if this works, I don't have actual arrows, I just have sticks, and using my nature magic, I can change them into the sort of arrow I need at any given moment to fire. I'm wearing quite a lot of jewellery, because the way I imagine myself is like kind of not attractive but very interesting to look at. Like, people are like drawn to the way you look, almost like nymph-like in a kind of way. So lots of like rings, but like I don't look blingy. It's just like interesting.
Yes, a high fantasy, yes.
Yeah. Also, I have like a necklace with a sort of like vial on it with sort of like smelling salt sort of thing. Think like Victorian damsels. But that helps me influence people. Like, that links into my mind and emotional magic. If I need a little extra sauce, I take it off. And there's an effect, like the smelling salt effect on people. Does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. Write those down.
So, hand is on the handle of the sword. In this kind of rack of weapons, they're huge weapons, they're double-edged swords, they're big old things, but I am attracted towards this sword for a particular reason. These other weapons are slightly rusted, they've definitely seen battle, they're quite bloody. This one seems remarkably clean, almost shining, and when I put my hand on it, I get that shock of like memory, but it also makes the tattoos on my left arm actually move, so it almost replays the battles that I've won or been in, put on my actual body. I think the thing that makes me feel so attached to it is I can almost feel a heartbeat in it, and I realise that's because this sword doesn't stain from the blood, it actually absorbs the blood of enemies and foes, and it adds to its heartbeat. So it's almost like an extension of my arm, but it's its own being. It's like another person looking out behind me, so I will feel its energy when I'm in danger, when I'm safe. It'll always be my companion. And it has a name. I'm going to go with Dragonclaw.
Dragonclaw. Now, is it a great sword or is it a long sword? Like, I assume
Is it a two-handed sword?
It's a single-handed sword. It is, I'd say, fairly long, but it is single-handed.
Is it thin?
It's not thin, it's not neat.
Are we thinking like Cloud?
Yeah, that's literally what I was
No, we're thinking Master Sword Zelda.
Oh, love!
So just because you have oversized weapons, so you are capable of doing two-handed weapons, but it's completely fine if you want to just have a one-arm.
This will be my companion, my extension of my arm, and it will be my extension from there on in. I'll always have it on my back. Weapons will come and go and combust, but that one will always stick with me.
There's a sort of sense of familiarity as you're like...
It's part of you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're so emotional.
In battle, it will remind me what I have on with all the tattoos.
Is there anything else you would like? He's more than happy just to have one sword, or one weapon, be any equipment, anything like that.
With that on my back, I do feel confident, but just because I do have the ability to wield larger swords and weapons, I will take one rather large two-handed sword, double-edged, quite...
scimitar type thing.
Yeah, sort of like that. And then like a kind of crescent-shaped kind of, what are they called?
How many weapons are you carrying?
They can do what she's
All I got is my spruce strength.
She's a tank!
For the subtle attacks, I'll have my scythe, which is called moonshine.
Oh, nice.
So I have a signet ring that I have inherited from the nobility that I'm able to speak to. I'm sorry. And the signet ring's got like, I want to say like when I wear it, if I don't want to be like noticed necessarily, or if I'm trying to be a bit sneakier, it's almost like person or people or beings that I'm interacting with, it's like their focus shifts, so they aren't like really aware of me, so it's almost like I can exist in situations but not...
A perception filter.
Yes, exactly. So I'm not invisible, but kind of I can...
It shifts, sort of.
Yeah.
Is there any other kind of equipment you would like?
Yes, I have a bow and arrow as well. It's kind of like one that I've inherited from my family. It's got like a crest, so it's got a griffin on it. And so for gaming, did you say something about soldiers and... I'm just trying to recall.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So gaming...
I've got the words uncommon folk written down.
Yeah, so gaming is thieves, soldiers, and other uncommon folk. So it would be, like the gamblers, or like, you've heard it in like taverns and stuff like that. It'd be the more unsavoury types, perhaps. But again, that's something that you could just build into. Like, you look so unassuming that people are like, oh, well, she's here playing cards or playing dice or whatever, and then you take them for all they're worth.
Exactly. So I have a small pouch in which I have some die, which I always keep handy, just in case, and my earnings.
From previous
I was
conquests.
going to say, I don't want to say the word conquest everyone with, but actually, yeah.
No, it's fine.
A nice little pouch, and just many scarves and wraps that,
Yeah, completely wrapped up.
again, no one knows what I'm doing. Oh, and some great leather boots.
Nice.
So as Isabel, you go to get the sword, and you guys are also standing around sort of shaking, the sort of sleepiness and the sort of this veil being taken away from your eyes, the old lady says, please sit, and she again claps her hands, and three very ornate chairs.
3.
My bad, sorry. 4.
I stand. I pick up the plunger.
No,
and stand.
not even 3. Sorry, 5. She would also like a chair. She claps her hands, and 5 chairs appear, and they're all sort of ornately decorated, but they're all in the same sort of style. And she goes and sits in one and gestures to the others for you guys to sit. I assume you do.
Yeah, I sit.
Now I'm gonna start stretching.
No,
Scratching?
Stretching.
Oh, stretching! I thought you were scratching.
I'm feeling weird. I'm back in my bod. I'm just doing some like casual stretches, standard ones. Not quite downward dog, just
Not
like
quite.
yeah, just not full blown yoga. Just limbering up a bit,
She takes no notice.
and so she shouldn't.
No, she just...
Very unassuming stretching.
She casts no judgment. She just, after everyone has sort of settled down and comfortable, once you continue doing your stretches, she sort of goes, well, I'm sorry to pull you away from your vacation, as it were, but I didn't know where else to turn. Evelyn, Megan, Isabel, Grace, I've spent so long trying to find you, and now there are no words, really. I need your help. There is a demon close by, and they have been terrorising our village for many, many years, and there was a prophecy that only 4 adventurers going by the names of Evelyn, Megan, Isabel and Grace could help us, and we searched, and there have been many failed attempts to find you.
How many people's houses has this woman been
I appreciate the transformation may have taken a few of your memories, perhaps, but you are the old ones, and you are, in this realm, famous. You are heroes.
I'm so excited.
You've been gone so long, we didn't know if you were just legends, but now I feel that we can repair what is right. But I know you may have some attachments to your world that I've taken you from. So once the demon is defeated, I will more than happy send you back should you wish. Does anyone like to ask any questions? Any questions so far?
I'm just gonna spice this up a little bit. I've just been stretching down to try and touch my toes. As she finishes speaking, I stand up and I'm like, nah, I'm alright, thanks. I'm not working with these people. And head towards the door.
What? You're trying to split the party?
Good.
At this stage, my dragon claw sword on my back starts. I can feel the heartbeat of it beating really, really fast, and it starts to burn, which really jars me because I'm particularly cold. Like I'm always icy cold. Got cold blood running through my veins, so I'm like big old fucking ninja going on here. Not quite like that, but that's how I say it.
From the sound of this demon, you've fought demons before, and bits and pieces come back. You go try and find the door, Megan.
Yeah.
There is no door.
Okay, so I go round, recognise there's no door,
Yeah.
and then I laugh, say out loud, should have known, and just sit cross-legged facing the wall.
Not with your friends.
No, go
Anyway.
far away from everyone, sit cross-legged, just facing the stone wall. And I say, let me know when you're done.
Oh god.
I think Ellen just rolls her eyes knowingly, like, this is typical Megan. And then turns back to the lady and she's like, okay, so what do you want?
The old lady who just, again, sees you having a hissy fit, again, just...
Oh, no,
lets
I'm
you-
very calm. Like, completely calm.
Sure,
There's no hysteria in me.
No, oh no.
I'm literally just like...
Sorry, a high fantasy hissy fit.
Yes.
While I'm tweaking out slightly because
Yeah,
I'm burning up a little bit.
Yeah, she sees that there will be some time to adjust. I appreciate that. I'll say again, I've brought you back to defeat this demon. It resides in an ancient tomb not too far away, and only the old ones can defeat it.
Have I heard of this demon already in my folklore knowledge?
Please roll a d20 plus lore.
I love drawing a roll. Oh, 7. Plus 3. 10.
10. Again, you're getting flashes back of demons and stuff, and her mention of these, not the demon, but the ancient tomb, that sort of strikes in you. An image comes to mind of a forest, and within the forest, it's like a clearing with all these trees around it, but the trees themselves seem warped and almost sort of like curl over to make a long tunnel. And at the end of this sort of tunnel is like a black hole, and you feel like you're there now. This the wind of the tunnel just going past your cheeks, and inside, the faintest sort of this tiniest of moments you hear Evelyn. And then you're back in the room.
I shudder at the mispronunciation of my name. and I'm like, that bitch never said it right. And then I go, I think I remember something about that, and it's pretty fucking big. What makes you think any one of us 4 is a match for that thing?
Not just one of you, all 4 of you.
Do we have, like, our own history?
I'm going to say for this that you're only getting flashes back, but I'm guessing your personality is assigned to form through now. So.
I have a reason for what I'm doing. I'm defiantly still staring at the wall and don't say anything.
I've tried to approach you, but
You get the impression, again, another flash when, oh, she always does.
again.
As you know, in our world, names are powerful, incredibly powerful. I fear to speak of this demon's name, but... She gets on her notes.
Checks the script.
She does it. The demon's name is Emig.
Does this... Grace asks how Emig is spelled.
It's spelled E-M-I-G.
Does the name evoke any particularly powerful emotions or memories in me?
You've got Law, haven't you? So it'd be...
I've got Laura.
But Isabel.
You've got Laura. Oh, yeah. Special!
It's like Christmas.
Roll a d20 plus your modifier, which I believe is a +2.
It is indeed. An 8 plus 2, 10.
The name of Emig. Again, another flash, and you actually see pretty much what Evelyn saw was the clearing, the trees bending over, and the dark, and you hear Isabel. So you almost share a similar experience, like you have heard this name before, and both of you know this. You've never faced this demon. You can't conjure an image of what it is to your minds. The old lady says, I don't wish to delay, but obviously the sooner you can defeat this creature, the better for all of us. The tomb itself, you may know, it is past the village of Sandpoint. To get there, you need to follow the road west until you reach Sandpoint, and the tomb is just north of there. She, again, claps her hands, and in front of Megan, a door appears. As she's staring straight at it. And she goes, when you have defeated it, we will know, and we will come.
At the point that she says, when you have defeated it, I, noticeably tense up, and I'm clearly furious. And I turn around, because only bits are coming back to me, and I'm I feel like this isn't the first time I've had this sort of conversation with you, and I'm pretty sure the last time it went very badly wrong, and I lost people I really cared about. So why you think I'd be so willing to just help, I really don't know. And I walk out the door.
Okay.
So I'm somewhere else. You can tell me where I am. Where does the door go? Straight off a cliff. And then they were free.
Make a d20 roll, straight d20 roll.
Ooh. 7. Let me open the door.
No, you do. It wasn't a roll for the door, don't worry. You say what you've just said, but the words, it's not as grand as you think. I think you, in your head, you had something to say, but your anger takes over, the frustration. So the last couple of words get mushed together and you sort of storm off out of the door. And the old lady sort of goes, she is quick to anger, that one, but you will remember that she is good at heart. Please take care of her and of yourselves.
We'll follow in through the door.
Okay. Grace goes through the door. You two?
Yeah, off to Sandpoint.
I love the views at Sandpoint. Get a postcard.
Just hope it's not full of nobles.
And meanwhile, I'm there, like, my team have gone forward, my soldiers, my counterparts, my brothers, who I will see once again in Valhalla. I will protect them with my life and follow behind them.
Evelyn cuts that speech off by whistling for literally any animal that can carry her rather than listen to Isabel's speeches.
So I know, so Grace has gone through the door after Megan.
I literally just walk out and immediately whistle.
The old lady's still starting you, so there's like motions for you to go through the door. Your friends are waiting.
Valiantly out the door.
And as the door sort of shuts, you just hear the lady go, weird. And the door shuts.
Excellent.
So Megan,
Yes.
the door opens out. What hits you instantly is the sunlight. It is a gorgeous day. And you are on a country road. Mm-hmm. And maybe a few seconds as you get your bearings and the light, you know, because it was a very, very dark cave, your companions follow out. Isabel slowly finishing off her speech and she's like, the light is just burning and melting. The door shuts, and as soon as it shuts, there's a slight pop. And the door disappears. It's never there. And you are just in the middle of this wide, almost country-esque road. There is beautiful rolling fields next to you. And, funny enough, there is a signpost. Obviously it says, like, Sandpoint, 5 miles that way.
Yeah, I look at the sign and I'm like, 5 miles, and then I whistle again for the steed, like, please let there be a steed.
So you're using your natural magics for that.
Yes.
Roll natural magic, so a d20 plus 3.
15 plus 3 is 18!
What are you trying to get to?
Any animal that will carry me the 5 miles rather than me have to walk.
Are you looking for a horse, or are you looking for something more... Not bovine, that's the word that came to my mind. I don't think bovine.
Oh my god.
A horse is an equine, but I mean, like, is it like some sort of giant weasel?
I'm going to go for an abnormally large ladybird.
Ooh.
Fucking
Great.
That's adorable.
I'm going to perch atop it.
How are you calling this large ladybird to you?
Speaking whale.
Well, I was imagining that I would start whistling like you would normally whistle for a dog or something, but it goes incredibly low pitched, and I'm slightly like taken aback because I'm like, how to do a low pitched whistle? But then the ladybirds appeared, and I was just like, oh yeah.
I think as you start to whistle, it's very strange, and you all see this as well. Like you're not so used to maybe clicking your fingers a bit, and then you maybe do put your fingers in the mouth and you sort of whistle. But as you whistle, your voice is almost layered, like almost double, triple, almost like throat singing, you know, that sort of thing. But it's a beautiful melodic sound, and in silence. Suddenly, from almost like a helicopter.
Oh my god.
And you guys all see this, and again, yeah, it's like right, the Valkyries. It is an incredible sight as it sort of just lands this huge sort of ladybird next to you.
I get dust in my eye.
You all just sort of like, sort of. Again, you all get images back there. Oh yeah, the ladybird. Showing off again. that you have a ladybird.
Oh, thanks.
Do you name the ladybird?
Yes.
Does that mean it gets powers?
Oh no, it does get powers.
What's it called?
Pearl.
Pearl!
Oh,
cute.
I assumed that she wouldn't have powers because she has a bag. I wasn't trying to give myself more
You
powers.
named her.
Does that mean Evelyn gets powers, or does that mean...
No, just Pearl.
Just
But do you
Pearl's
control
her
her?
own. No, Pearl's her own. Pearl's her own insect. I wouldn't.
You wouldn't dare.
I wouldn't ask her to do anything she didn't want to do.
But you can subtly influence her.
I like the fact you've also taken a name that also has emotion magic in it.
That's so good.
And law.
Oh my god.
Pearl's very well read. Yeah, so I just perch atop her and give her loving little pat on the wing, and she has her she parts her wing slightly so that I can sit on her fleshy little back, and I just sit side saddle bye.
She gives use of the universal symbol for, hey bruv, how are you?
Aww,
Classic.
I did, in my previous time in this place, fashion her a very small, well, I guess it's not that small because she's unusually large, but I fashioned her a pearl necklace.
Of course.
So extra.
That Megan is
You use it as reins
God, that was
almost.
so extra.
Megan's like, where did you get that?
You just go, wait, and you pull out the pearl reins and you sort of start to put it together. What would the rest of you like to do? You just see this fucking massive ladybird just appear from nowhere, but you're all not as phased as you probably would be if it was happening in the real world.
Okay, before that, as soon as we walked through the door and
Yes.
I realised where we were and that the door had disappeared, I shout, fuck! And I'm like, damn, that shitty little wench! Look around, then you do the whistle thing, the ladybird descends. I'm absolutely stony faced. Step aside for the thing to land. And just go, no. And start walking in the opposite direction to where the signpost is telling us to go. So that's me, I'm starting to walk
You're starting to walk
away.
the other way. Alright.
I run after you because I believe in teamwork.
You don't need to run probably too strong.
Ice balls in the room. We also have a gift from the gods, and why would you deny that?
Are you going to stop me? Are you trying to stop me?
I stand in front of you
Okay.
because I stepped over you.
Okay, as soon as you stand in front of me, though, I just stop real cash.
Think of all the good times we have had as a team. What would we do without you? I try to basically remind you of your value in this team and as a person because I feel you're going through a bit of a personal crisis.
Okay, I hear that, and I go, nah, I'm okay, thanks. And I sidestep you and carry on walking.
And step over you again.
Okay.
So whilst that's going on, Grace, would you like to do anything?
Well, I've just been very, very torn. I've just been standing there because I really want to help Isabel on her mission. And I know that I don't have the strength to physically stop Megan, but I'm also enthralled by this massive fuck off ladybird and kind of want to have a chat with Pearl. Mm-hmm. But then I'm like, no, I have to get Megan. She has to join us. You can't have your own path. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try and
You're running after
Evelyn's just literally just watching this from atop her giant ladybird.
Sighing.
Takes a crystal nail file out of her smart ass tailor jacket and just starts filing her nails because she knows very well how this is going to play out and she doesn't care for it.
Yeah,
So she's just,
you were just waiting for the resolution to happen so that you can get on your way.
yeah, there's no need to use her politics powers here. She knows what's going on. She's just going to sit there and be like, okay.
To you, these three aren't nobles. So, Grace, you do catch up and you see them sort of bickering. What would you like to do?
I would try and reason with Megan, but Megan is not going to listen to me.
You don't know. You
I
don't know that.
I agree.
No, but
Grace.
I feel like not. So I tried to be clever and say, Isabel, we don't need Megan, even though inside I'm absolutely dying, going against everything I've ever believed.
And I go, Grace, you are like a reincarnation of Loki, the trickster god. I like your thinking.
Reveal the plan. But whilst you're saying this to each other, I've carried on.
Yeah.
Megan, I'd like you to roll me a d20, please.
Oh no, you're going to get yourself killed, Megan.
16.
Okay.
As you start to make your way, and you hear the bickering and the sounds of the ladybug being saddled up.
It's not that kind of relation.
No.
Let's do it.
The sounds of your party sort of start to leave you and you sort of get into your own little world. And with that roll, you see in the distance and the other way, there seems to be, the ground is not the same. It's about 30 feet from you.
Okay.
It looks like, even at this distance, like fake ground. Mm-hmm. But it's still 30 feet away. And it's about, I'd say, 10 feet across by 10 feet. Mm-hmm. This sort of patch in the middle of the road. And it covers quite a sizable area of it, too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I look at it, kind of sigh very deeply, turn around, and shout very loudly, "Guys, even though I hate that skanky witch, short-ass little bitch, I still care about you guys. Something weird's going on over here. Think there's magic about."
Evelyn sighs, puts her crystal nail file back, gives Pearl a little tap and says, "You know what to do," and like just double wraps her like pearl reins round one hand because obviously she's a naturally gifted giant ladybird flyer.
I'd also say she's very good at running.
Who?
Pearl.
Well, I like her to fly. What can I say?
Okay. Again, as you might make a d20 roll for me, please.
I don't want to land on the weird grass. I want to land.
No, I think Pearl knows that. I'm more like you. It's more of a look check.
12.
And yeah, you see the same thing that what Megan was pointing out. It looks like a 10-foot by 20-foot sort of square in the middle of the road has been dug out and then replaced. And even from that high vantage, you sort of realise that it probably is a trap.
I look at Megan and I go, "Yeah, she is a skanky bitch," and just sort of shake my head at the grass, like kind of rack my brains for anything that I would necessarily know about this area that would give me any clue as to what that shit is.
The road itself or the area around
that weird patch, and like I don't know, maybe old gangs used to do weird traps like that, or like there's a type of animal that lives nearby that like comes up from the ground.
Roll a d20 roll plus your lore.
Oh, that's only 11.
It's nothing strange about it. You know exactly what it is. It is a trap. And if someone was to walk on it, they would fall down and be trapped.
I immediately turn around at Izzy and I go, I'm like, stop! But I don't know whether or not that is going to help.
You know that probably bandits do traps like this to capture wagons or other adventures on the way. Unfortunately, you're flying, not running at it, which is really irritating, but never mind. Isabel.
Meanwhile, I mistake this call for a call of danger. I must save my brethren and run.
Can I do something just as she's...
Don't run into the trap. So you're running towards Megan? What is the aim of your run? I guess that's what I'm asking.
Do you observe the trap and make sure my brethren are safe? And therefore put myself in a line of danger, which is not a wise decision, but I am headstrong and foolhardy.
Yeah. Don't use any of your talents. Great. What a d20 roll then, please.
15.
15, yeah. You,
Plus 2.
You sort of go, "Oh no, my friends!" And you sort of do your sort of almost like
2 steps.
Yeah, it is. And you sort of pass Megan, and Megan's like, "Whoa, wait," and then you sort of slide to a sort of a halt just at the edge of this trap.
Yeah, I can't keep up with that, but I've been running, and then I stop as I see Isabel skidding. Well, something must be wrong, and I eventually catch up.
Yep. So you're all at the side of this, what would be an unsprung pit trap.
Mm.
And as you all get there, you hear a voice call out from the side of the road, and it just says, "Drop your weapons! We have you surrounded." A group of very burly, very dirty-looking men with crossbows pointed at all of you, even at Pearl.
No!
Will our party be able to stop the demon from terrorising the small, sleepy village of Sandpoint? Will they be able to retrieve their lost memories of their former lives? And once all this is over, would they want to go back home? Find out next time on What Am I Rolling? The What Am I Rolling podcast was created, recorded and edited by me, Fiona Howat. This episode's players were Evelyn Goodall, Megan Roderick, Issie Fenlon and Grace Potter. This episode's RPG was In Name Only, created by Doug Levandowski, Jack Rosetree and Alison Cardinale. You can find out more information about In Name Only and download a free copy of the rules on the In Name Only Kickstarter. You can also buy the full version of In Name Only from the P&P Arcade website. That's www.pnparcade.com. The theme music was 8-Bit March by Twin Musicon of twinmusicon.org. Licensed under a Creative Commons 4.0 license. If you want to find out more about the podcast, check out the website. That's www.wairpodcast.com. Fancy getting in touch? Email the podcast at whatamirollingpodcast@gmail.com. Finally, follow the podcast on Twitter and Instagram at WAIR_podcast for the latest news on upcoming episodes. And remember, adventurers need not apply.